So I saw a question recently that said, "What is the one vegan ingredient that vegans love, but most non-vegans have never heard of?" I knew immediately what I was gonna answer that question with. I don't know about you if you're, kinda curious about what I would say, or I'm kinda curious about what you would say. So if you have an answer that comes to mind, I'd love for you to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you're thinking of because I posed this question on my email and I got a bunch of different answers. I love it. I love hearing from people about what their favorite ingredients are, especially those ones that are kinda sneaky that most non-vegans don't know about it. So I'm going to show you my favorite secret vegan ingredient today, and I'm going to also show you how I use it in recipes. And I think I'm just going to show you a couple of ways to make it. So the secret ingredient is nooch, otherwise known as nutritional yeast flakes. I don't know if you're familiar with this ingredient. We use it a lot in our vegan recipes. I'm, Marley with the site Namely Marley, and we love sharing plant-based recipes. And nooch is a go-to ingredient. I have I'll leave a link below because I have a page on my site that talks all about nooch, what it is, and how it's made. It's a natural ingredient. We love using it. It's healthy. It's loaded with B vitamins. So there's all kinds of reasons why you'd want to use it. But today, let's talk about one way that you can. Actually, I have two recipes I'm going to share with you. They're both really fast, but they make a big change in your kitchen. So the first one involves a food processor, but you don't have to use a food processor. I just like it because it makes it a finer grain, I guess you would say. So this is nutritional yeast flakes. I want you to know I can find this at most grocery stores. I've been to grocery stores all around the country, and every time I've looked, I see this ingredient. So I think you'd be able to find this in the health food section of most grocery stores. For sure, it's at um, you can find this at health food stores. And in fact, I love going to Sprouts where I can buy this in bulk. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll just I have a one of my canisters is full of nooch and I have this little shaky container and I just refill it. That's kind of what I do. So let's go ahead and talk about the ingredients. We're going to be making vegan ranch seasoning. I love this stuff. I love having it in my kitchen because I can sprinkle that ranch flavored goodness all over anything. Like if you're making some, I don't know, some toast, you want some garlic toast and you could sprinkle a little bit of ranch seasoning over the top or popcorn, you name it. It's really good on so many things. So let's go over the ingredients here. I've got um, quarter cup of nutritional yeast flakes. I got a quarter cup of almond meal. Did I say mill? I said mill, meal, almond meal. Couple of teaspoons of garlic powder, a tablespoon of dehydrated onions, or you can use onion powder, and then we've got a tablespoon of parsley and a tablespoon of dill. You can see that I would kind of ran out of dill and I've supplemented it with a little bit of ground thyme, but it works. So that's the thing. It's good to be creative in your kitchen. You're not always going to have all the right ingredients, but knowing what ingredients you can intermix is really good. And so I feel like thyme is a good one that you can mix in with dill. But dill is kind of that classic. I mean, that is the distinctive flavor of ranch. So you really want to have some dill in there. So we're going to start with, we're going to leave the seasonings out, the herbs, I should say. And we're going to stick with just these ingredients first. So you can see the grain of the nutritional yeast flakes is a little bit flaky, and that's the only reason I'm using the food processor. So I'm going to put that in here like that. I'm going to use the almond meal. I did it again, almond meal. These are dehydrated onions, and I've got some garlic powder. Now I'm going to also add to this 1/8 teaspoon of mustard powder, and you can see that that's not a lot, but it does add that flavor. I don't know how to say umami they call it, but I call it It works. And you could go with just this, and this is good, really good. However, I think the thing that if you've been vegan for a while, you may not realize like something's missing from this recipe. What is it? It's more of that it's there's a tanginess, I guess, that comes with milk that you don't always get with non-milk ingredients. And so I like to add a little bit of soy milk powder. You don't have to do this. Another ingredient you could try, which I haven't, which I thought about trying before I tried the soy milk powder, is You can actually get dried vinegar, and you can't see this, but Sean is grimacing right now because he hates he hates vinegar. But, vinegar powder in a seasoning like this is gonna give it that little bit of I don't know how to describe it, but
Tang.
it's tang, thank you, that's the word, tang. We want a little bit of tang, so I'm gonna add 1, 2 tablespoons of soy milk powder. I get this online. I don't find it too easy of an ingredient to find, but I think you could go to a store like Natural Grocers, and they're probably gonna have it. So we're gonna blend this up because I want these ingredients to become super fine. So super fine. That's what we're after. Okay. I always tap the side because I don't want this stuff going everywhere. And then to this, we're gonna add the herbs. Oh wait, you know what I realized I forgot is some salt. We want to add. I'm usually limited on the salt, and in fact, you know, I'm using some Himalayan salt. I don't like to add too much because I feel like you can always add more salt. It's not easy to take it away, but you can add more. Another really great product is Morton's Light Salt. That is a great option for a seasoning like this. So I'm just going to do a few sprinkles of salt, give it a little bit of flavor. Do this one more time just to mix that in. And then I'm gonna add the parsley. Now I do this on purpose. I'm not just trying to overuse my food processor, give it a good workout. I do this because I want to leave some of the texture from the herbs. So I'm just gonna do short bursts and boom, we're done. Now this is the spot where you'd want to do a little taste test. I'll stick my finger in here. That's really good. Oh my God, that is so good. I just love this stuff so much. I love having this in my kitchen because, like I say, when you're fixing something and you just want a little dash of some seasoning, oh my God, this is going to be your go-to favorite. I guarantee it. So let's just pour this into a bowl. Well, you can pour it into a mason jar and just seal it up. I don't, you know, that it's perfect in a jar like this. In fact, I would probably make a triple dose of this and have this in the mason jar and then just have it around. Why are you smiling, Sean?
Dose.
Did I say dose? What should I have said there? Batch? Oh, Sean's the grammar king here, so that's smart. It's good. Very good tip. Thank you, honey. So we'll just pour that into this bowl. Try not to make a mess. That's pretty good. Don't you think that looks good? Yeah. Stick around because we're done with the food processor at this point, although I am going to show you another way of using nutritional yeast flakes, but I'm also going to show you what I do, some really creative things that you can do with this. I've got a couple of snacks I think that you're going to love, but first I wanted to show you another way that I use nutritional yeast flakes. This one is pretty simple. Let me just wipe this off here so you're not seeing a mess. I love Parmesan. I like even just the sprinkle of it over some pasta. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I'm sorry, but I really like that sprinkly stuff. I know a lot of people like grating their Parmesan, and that's wonderful. I'm happy for you. But I like the kind of stuff that used to come in the green craft, whatever it is, you know, and sprinkle it all over everything. It's just ready to go, gives you that flavor that you want. And this is kind of like me kind of creating that. So what I start with is around a quarter cup of almond meal. And I'm just going to pour this in this bowl. And to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of nutritional yeast flakes. And then we're going to add a sprinkling of salt and a sprinkling of pepper. And let's give that a little bit of a stir. And this is basically instant Parmesan. That's not cool. I just think that's so cool. Now this is the same thing. You could easily put this in a food processor and blend it up if you want a finer texture, but I think for this one, it's just fine because can you imagine just sprinkling this over some pasta and it actually gives it the look as if you just sprinkled some Parmesan on it. Let me take a taste of that. Mm, that's very good. That is just perfect. Oh my gosh. I just can't get over how much I love nutritional yeast flakes, which is why I always have it in my kitchen. I bet you, I could challenge you 24/7. Anytime you come into my kitchen, you're going to find nutritional yeast flakes. Would you agree, honey? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of ways that you can use either of these seasonings. I really like the Cool Ranch Doritos. I don't know if you've ever had those before, but I used to love them, and so I tried doing that with tortilla chips. And so one way you can do that is no, this works better if you have square or the rectangular tortilla chips. We have these really weird, cool, Kirkland ones, but it all works. We just put them in a bag. I'm gonna add just probably a spoonful because the chips have oil on them. The seasoning will stick, and then voila! You can't tell, but that is a seasoned chip. It's got nice little flakes of Cool Ranch on it. I'm gonna try it just to make sure. Mm, it's perfect. It certainly reminds me of my Cool Ranch Dorito days. Did you ever eat Cool Ranch Doritos? That's good stuff. I mean, if you wanted to switch to some rectangular tortilla chips, another thing you could do is do just a. I've got my little spray bottle. You could spray just a tiny bit of all of oil in there. Let's try that. In fact, spray a little oil. I'm just experimenting with y'all. Just gonna spray that in there. It's gonna get in the bag. That might make the seasoning stick even more. Yeah, you can see that on there. Look at that. That's better. I like it. And that means I'm gonna have to try it again. Mm, yeah, that works. You can do the same thing with potato chips. Same thing. Probably does help to spray just a little bit of oil in the bag because that's gonna help the I don't know if you know this, but a lot of like Cool Ranch or a lot of tortilla chips and potato chips that come with a flavoring, they're not vegan because oftentimes they use milk to make the seasoning stick to the chips. So that's why it's not vegan. So you can just experiment and try different things to make the seasoning stick. I just happened to find that look at that. It sticks quite nicely to that chip because there's oil on the chip. So, I mean, tell me that's not going to be good. I'm going to tell you. Mm. I mean, I oftentimes like chips just the way they are. But what's wrong with a little bit of Cool Ranch flavoring? Another option is popcorn. I made this air pop popcorn and in the microwave, and so we can just again spray a little bit of this. You know what? I've got to pump it. I don't know if you've seen this before, but I'm trying not to use the aerosol cans. Is it aerosol? So instead, we've got this nice little pump that we can just refill with oil and reuse. I love it. And there you go. You can see it kind of spraying. Oh, I got stuff all over my shirt. Spraying on the popcorn. Because this is air popped, it doesn't have any oil in it at all. So a little light coating is not a problem. And let's see, why don't we try the Parmesan on this one? And just sprinkle that on here on the popcorn. I find that also if you were to do this popcorn, adding a little bit, putting this on a pan and baking it like this would be nice. Vegan butter would also be a great option to drizzle this with. Let me tell you, I like a flavorful popcorn. So let me just grab one of these pieces. Can you see that, honey? Look at all the seasoning that's on that popcorn. Very nice. I'm gonna try it. Mmm. Oh my God. That's so good. I think that with a little bit of salt and pepper added to it, holy cow, that's delicious. That's so delicious, I'm gonna drop a spoon. That's what you just heard there. Okay, perfect. So you can do either Cool Ranch. I'm gonna try both. You can mix and match some Cool Ranch seasoning on popcorn or some Parmesan on popcorn. So good. It will transform your movie nights, I promise you. And then I also wanted to show you one last thing, and that is, what if you wanted to turn this into like ranch dip or ranch seasoning? So what I do is I'll take a tablespoon, spoonful of or two of some vegan mayo. I'm just using the Follow Your Heart brand today. You can also use, which is in one of my favorites, is Forager has a cashew yogurt that's plain, and I love that too. That's perfect. I would use that. I'll add just a little bit of soy milk to this, just to get it a little bit thinner, like a dressing consistency or a dip. And then to this, we'll add, I don't know, a couple of spoonfuls of this seasoning. There you have it. You've got an instant dressing that you can put on your salads, or you can have this as a dip. In fact, I will just test it here with you really quickly. I'm going to do this chip. Normally, I would have some raw carrots or celery or something healthy, but you know what I have in front of me are chips. So there we go. That's the ranch dressing that's on this potato chip. Mm. I love it so much. This is just an example of how if you, with a little bit of planning ahead, you can make something like this and you've got instant meals ready to make in your kitchen. That makes Tuesday night dinners so much easier because you may not have a lot of things on hand, but you've got something like this and you can, I mean, I think the right sauce just transforms any dish. So this seasoning mix is perfect. I love it. I hope you love it too. I have had a really good time. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's recipe, I would love to hear from you, and I just give this video a like and click subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining me.